Hello, I'm Bear of Curses. Today we're going to be building this house. This house has some cool features such as a peaked roof and some walls that are inset to add some depth, and wall lanterns, and a cool indoor-outdoor fireplace. This space is pretty simple to make if you follow along this video, and you'll also impress yourself as well as your Viking friends if you complete this base for your world. Let's get started. So we're going to want to start out by creating an 8x8 block for a foundation and filling it in with stone floors, and you just kind of flatten out an area and make an 8x8. After you're done with that, you can place 2x2 wood wall 2 high all the way around the base. And it should look like that when it's completed. So after you go the wood walls high, you're going to want to place the half wall all the way around the base. You're going to want to grab the stone pillar to go along the outside of the wood walls, and the 1x1 right on top of that on each corner. Determine which side is going to be the front of the house. Break the 2 stone 2x1s and place stairs on the stone wall. Now you can break the wood walls on the front and break the stone floors and place a 2x1 right where the stairs are, and then you can replace the stone floor on the back. Go ahead and place the dark wood gate as the door and use the 1x1 walls to fill in the gaps. Use the 1x1 wood floor to fill in the top gap. Use the dark wood pole 4 meter on the corners of the outside of the door. You can grab the wood beam 2 meter for the top. Now with the wood beam 2 meter, you can go halfway in between and place a little lip on the outside, and use the dark wood pole 2 meter just to finish out the top of the pole on the back. Now you're going to want to place the 4 meter pole and snap onto that lip that you made, and the wood beam 2 meter to place trim on the stone. Use the wood half wall and snap it to the dark wood. And then make a little step with your wood beam 2 meter for some depth. And then you can go all the way across with it, just so you know you're at the same height all the way across. Break the middle so it's not in your way. Use the wood pole 2 meter to finish out the trim on the stone pillars. This is going to add some depth to your walls. And you can actually do all 4 sides of the pillars and do the same thing to each pillar. And you want to get in between the wall as well to get rid of the gap that's there, and do that to all 4 sides. Use the wood beam 2 meter to place on top of the half wall. And on the inside, we're going to break our walls and place 2 wood half walls to create our window. And then grab the 2 meter beams to make trim around the window. And then place 2 meter beams to outline the window that you just made. With the window outlined, we're going to grab the wood shutter and place those on the outside part of the window. And then go ahead and open up the shutters. and then use a divider of your choice to place on the inside of the window. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Place a wood cross 26 degree on top of the windows that you just made, and 1 meter beams at an angle to create a little peak on the window. Do that to the other side as well. Now we're going to place trim along the wood walls using the wood beam 2 meter and 1 meter beams to finish out the top of the trim on the wood pillars. Again, you can do this to all 4 sides. One meter beams on the tip of the pillars and 2 meter beams all the way across the top of the half walls. Gonna want to use the dark wood beams 2 meter and custom place the first one, and then go across the top of the roof or the top of the wall with the rest of them. Custom place that top one right in front of the first one. You're gonna want to place banners right on either side of the windows. Place dark wood arches right in front of where you place the banners. And then you can also finish out that trim. I'm gonna use stone arches to make a kind of a grate or like a sewer looking thing. Kind of just looks like a little drainage thing going on there. You can use a wood beam 26 degree and a 1 meter beam on the back of it, and then a 26 degree angle on the back of that, and do that 4 high, and then place 2 45 degree wood beams on that. Do the same to the other side, and place 2 45 degree beams at an angle to make a peak, and a 1 meter beam in the middle. Then grab our dragon friend and place that on the 1 meter beam. There we go. We should have something looking kind of like this. So far it looks pretty nice. You can go ahead and finish out the trim on the rest of the house, just on the top. And then if you didn't, go ahead and finish the trim on the pillars just like we did on that first section. And then you're going to want to go around the outside of the pillars and complete the trim on the outside as well. You can place these 2 little ones here so that the 2 beams on the back don't fall. Should have something looking kind of like this. Now what you're going to want to do is find the shingle roof 26 degree and go ahead and fill in that bottom part on the outside so that it connects to the outside beams, and grab a 2 meter beam and connect those on the bottom half of the 1 meter beams that we placed on the back. Now the next set of shingles is going to go directly on that beam, and what that's doing is getting rid of the gap that you would see from the ground, and then do the same thing all the way up into the 45 degree beams. You will run into an issue right here with shingles falling off. So what we're going to do is break the stone floors and place 2 1x1s on the back end, and then use wood iron poles to touch the bottom of those 2 middle wood beams right there. And you're going to want to do that on both sides. So skip 1 block in the middle and bring the wood iron pole up all the way on the other side. And you can break the 1x1s and replace them with the stone floors so that they're no longer there. And then use the horizontal wood iron beam to support the roof tiles that were falling off. And now we can run across the top of the roof with our wood beam 2 meter. And then do the same exact thing to the other side of the roof. And you can cover up these wood poles. You can cover up the wood poles with the 2 meter beams. Alright, so we should be looking like this. Now we're going to just fill in the wood wall and make sure to go on the wood beam behind the dark wood beam. And you can use the 45-degree walls to fill in. Same thing to the back side. Alright, now we're going to snap wood half walls to the dark wood beams all the way across. And then place wood roof cross 26 across those wood half walls. And use 1 meter beams on the ends of those. Use a 2 meter beam and inset those into the wood walls just like that, 4 across, and then 2 across to make a little window. You can break the walls in the middle and then outline the wall with 2 meter beams, or outline the window with 2 meter beams on the inside. Now we're going to place these dark wood arches on the inside of the window, and wood beam 26-degree rotated once outwards and 1 facing out for a little peaked window. You can also add these wood beam 2 meters to outline the trim just to make a little bit more depth. For the chimney, we're going to want to break 2, 3, 4, and then place 1x1s on the end of that, and place a 2x1 facing outwards on the end of that. Now you can go ahead and break your walls on the inside. Break the stone floor and snap the fireplace to those 2x1s. Break the rest of your floor and outline the fireplace with the 2x1 stone blocks or stone walls. And you can raise your fireplace so that it matches the stone walls. And we can go ahead and finish out our wall here. And you're going to want to inset that first 2x1 to match your wood wall. And then you can alternate your stone bricks so that you get a little bit of a design going on so that it doesn't all look the same. That's what it should look like from the outside, and you might have to replace the foundation on the bottom of the fireplace. And then place a 2x1 on the outside of that. So now we're going to place our archways and a cage wall 2x2 on the inside. Go ahead and break your walls. And you can start building your wall upwards, alternating your stone walls from 1x1 to 2x1 for the design. Now we're going to inset 2x1s on the top of that so that our fireplace starts to narrow as it goes up. And you're going to have to start breaking roof pieces. And then just replace the trim and the roof as you need to. From the inside, you can break the rest of the walls, and then just keep building your fireplace wall up. To match the front of the fireplace from the outside, you're going to want to inset the bricks on the inside as well. And then place an archway on the third block up. And then go ahead and just finish this wall out. Now to add some structure support, you might need to use some wood iron poles on the inside of the fireplace so that they don't show on the outside. And this is just going to make it to where we can build a little bit taller with our stone. Then you can break the roof from the inside as well. So I basically just kept building the roof upwards until I reached the last 26-degree angled roof. And just alternating from 1x1s to 2x1 stone walls just to keep the design. Now we can place the wood beams to the outside of the stone wall to finish out to make some trim around the walls. And then place 2-meter vertical wood poles on the corners, and then finish out the top the same exact way. Alright, so now we're going to grab 1 meter beams and kind of make like a skirt for the outside of the, along the outside. Just kind of a little square around the inside square. Now we're going to want to grab our 45-degree corners and place that on each corner of the outside square. And then the 45-degree shingle roof on the inside, or on the outside. Then we're going to place trim around that square. Use 1 meter beams to make another outside square. After that square is complete, grab 26-degree shingle roof corners and fill in the outside. And there we have a cool looking roof just around the outside of our fireplace. You can place some trim along the outside of the fireplace just to kind of add some depth and to make it look a little bit cooler. And a little garland on the top of that just for some cozy vibes. You're going to want to break the walls and add 1x1s on the outside. And all we're doing right now is just creating a window right in the middle. You can use the wood half wall on the top and the bottom and the 1x1s on the side just to create the window right in the middle. And then we're going to use the 2 meter beams to place trim around the window. And do that to both sides. And now we're going to use 2 meter poles and 1 meter poles to place trim along the stone walls. And then inset 2 meter beams into the walls and place a 2 meter beam on the front of those so we can place wood half walls right in the middle of the stone walls. And this is just going to add a little bit more depth to the wall. It's going to look a little bit cleaner once it's completed. And then you can use 2 meter beams to place trim to make a step just like we did on the front. And then finish out the trim on the wood half wall. And then you can use 2 meter beams to box out the window that we made. And then 26-degree wood roof crosses on top of that. Dark wood arches and dark wood poles for the trim. Then we can use the wood shutters on both sides of the windows. And go ahead and open them up just like before and use a divider of your choice on the inside of the windows. I used some wall lanterns just on the archways, on the top of the archways, and that's what we should be looking like so far. Now you can box out a window on the right side of the house. And then we're going to snap wood half walls to that box that we made. And then 2-meter beams to finish out the trim on the stone wall. Then we can place our little step in. And then we're going to want to snap 2-meter poles on the half wood wall right there, and on the stone pillar. And then you can do the same thing to the other side. Going to add dark wood arches, and then finish out the trim with dark wood poles. Now we can use dark wood beams on the wood half walls to finish out that trim, and then finish your window with the wood shutters. Open up the wood shutters and then use a divider of your choice on the inside. Added the wall lanterns, and we can use the 26-degree wood cross on that as well, and then place a 1-meter beam on the window. You can also do this to the other side just to add a little peak. Now for the back wall, I'm going to leave that up to you guys to finish, just in case you wanted to add this to some sort of bigger build or add a little deck or something like that. But you can just use windows like the rest of the building, just how we did for the sides. But yeah, here's what it's looking like so far. It's a pretty cool house, and I hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, please hit the like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you want more builds, please subscribe. And I'm Bear of Curses, and I'll see you next time.